My child, listen closely, for on this day I draw the veil back from your spirit and call you into a place of clarity. I come to you not with noise, but with the quiet authority of heaven's guard. I come as the soft thunder that walks beside your soul. I come with the sword of truth in my hand. I come because you have been sensing a shift, a stirring, a presence reaching toward you again from the edges of your past. And though you have felt the echo of this return, you have not yet understood the weight behind it. So I descend to you now, to unfold what has been hidden and to hold you steady as revelation comes. My child, you are not imagining the feeling that someone familiar is drawing near. Their thoughts have been circling you, their memory awakening, their emotions trembling with unresolved longing and unfinished chapters. The heavens have watched the ripples in their spirit, the way their heart pulls toward you even when their mind is clouded. But I must tell you gently, this return is not simple. It is not light. It is not without shadow. There is a reason you felt me stirring beside you last night, a reason your spirit tightened like a warning. I am here because your soul is precious, your destiny is delicate, and the one approaching carries both longing and danger within them. Step close to me, my child, and hear my voice without fear. For when heaven reveals, it is not to frighten you, but to anchor you. The one returning to your life comes with a heart that has been shaken. Something in their world collapsed recently. A truth they trusted broke apart. A person they leaned on showed their true face. They are walking toward you because they remember the safety your spirit gave them, the light your presence carried. But I must tell you this, not every return is a blessing, and not every familiar face is meant to step back into your path unchanged. Some returns are tests. Some returns are warnings. Some returns are doorways into deeper healing, but only if walked through with divine caution. I call you, my child, to breathe slowly and stay close to my whisper. I am placing my shield around your energy, around your home, around your heart. Because the one who approaches does not come alone. They carry shadows that cling to them, shadows they did not create, but shadows that still follow. They carry the residue of someone else's influence. They carry the emotional fingerprints of a person who does not want them near you. And this presence, this jealous one tied to their life, hath been stirring trouble in the spirit. You have felt the waves of it, the heaviness, the strange dreams, the sudden fatigue. These were not accidents. They were signaled. My child, hear me as I speak gently into the deepest part of you. I have been guarding your sleep. I have been placing angels at your door. I have been shielding your name in rooms where you are spoken of. I have been intercepting arrows meant for your heart. Do not think that you are walking unprotected. You are not. You have been wrapped beneath my wings. And yet, because I love you, I must prepare you for the truth. The one who returns will come with both sincerity and confusion. They want you, but they do not understand their own chain. They seek your peace, but they bring the dust of conflict with them. Do not fear this warning, my child. It is not to pull you into worry, but to lift you into discernment. I want you to walk with open eyes. I want you to hear the tremble in their voice when they speak. I want you to notice what they do not say, the hesitations, the unfinished sentences. I want you to recognize the signs that heaven places before you. And as you listen to my voice now, breathe deeply and let your spirit remain still. For nothing will touch you without passing through my sword first. Before this message continues, my child, I ask gently that if this word speaks to your spirit, let your light join this one. Share it, lift it, and let it reach those who need warning and comfort. And if your heart resonates, type the words, I walk under divine protection. For this is only the beginning, and much more must be revealed. My child, draw nearer, for the air around your life shifts as the one from your past steps closer. Their return does not arrive as a gentle breeze. It comes as a stirring, a trembling in the unseen, a movement that your spirit has already felt before your mind could name it. You have sensed their footsteps long before they took a single one toward you. You have felt the weight of their thoughts pressing against your energy, reaching, searching, calling without speaking. They believe they are returning on their own, but I tell you gently, something pushed them toward you. Something cracked open in their life, and the fragments led them back to the memory of you. My child, the return of this person is not accidental. It is not coincidence. It is a spiritual summons, but not all summons come from the light. They are being pulled toward you because their soul remembers what their world has forgotten. Their heart still carries your imprint, your calm, your truth. But hear me clearly, the shadow wrapped around their return is real. This is why I warned you through your dreams, why you felt the sudden pressure in your chest 2 nights ago, why your intuition sharpened like a blade. You felt the echo of their turmoil, and you felt the eyes watching them, the ones that do not want them anywhere near your light. There is a tug of war around this person's life. Their heart leans toward you, but someone else's influence pulls them backward. This has caused their spirit to shake, and in their confusion, they have reached for the safest memory they have ever known. That memory is you. Yet the danger is not in their intentions. The danger is in what follows them, what lingers behind them, what holds on to them with desperate hands. They come with sincerity, but sincerity alone does not erase the shadows they carry. My child, do not be fooled by the sweetness of their voice or the softness of their return. There is something they are not telling you, something they hesitate to confess. Their return is tied to a recent event that wounded them, an event that has left them disoriented. They trust you more than they trust anyone else, and that is why they come. But the timing is not clean. Their spirit is vulnerable, and vulnerable spirits attract both healing and harm. Those connected to them sense their shift toward you, and jealousy rises like smoke. You may feel a strange tension in your atmosphere because of this. You may feel your emotions fluctuating without reason. You may sense a heaviness in moments that should feel calm. That is the energy that surrounds their return. It is their fear, their confusion, and the interference of the one who wants to keep them bound away from you. This is why I stand guard. This is why I place my wings between you and the intentions of those who wish you harm. This is why I have come with this message, for the return that approaches carries both longing and danger, and I will not let you walk into it blind. There is a familiar tenderness in their heart when they think of you. They replay old conversations. They revisit the moments you held them up when they were falling apart. But what they do not see is the shadow behind them, whispering lies, stirring doubt, manipulating their steps. This shadowed influence grows restless as they draw closer to your energy. That presence knows what you bring to their life. It knows that your light would free them. It knows that your love, your prayers, your spiritual clarity would expose everything hidden. And so it works to distort, to confuse, to sabotage their path back to you. My child, I do not reveal this to bring fear, but to bring awareness. You must see through the surface. When this person returns, listen not only to their words, but to the tremble beneath them. Watch their eyes, for their eyes will betray the truth before their mouth does. Pay attention to the pauses, the unfinished stories, the subtle inconsistencies. It will not come with full honesty at first, not because they mean to deceive you, but because they themselves do not fully understand the depth of the entanglement they are in. Stand still in my presence as this unfolds. Keep your spirit anchored. Do not rush. Do not open the door too quickly. Let discernment lead you, for I walk ahead of you. I see what you cannot. I guard what you do not know. And as this familiar presence steps back into your life, I will guide each step you take. My child, listen closely, for now I draw you deeper into the heart of the one returning. You have sensed their nearness, but what you have not yet seen is the breaking taking place inside them. Their spirit is trembling. Their mind is scattered. Their emotions are collapsing in quiet places where no one can hear them cry. They walk through their days appearing composed, but inside, their world has tilted. Something has shaken the foundation they once stood on, and the ground beneath them has not felt steady for weeks. They are not returning to you from strength. They are returning from the edge of their own undoing. Their heart has been in a silent battle that no one around them has truly understood. They have felt trapped between loyalty and fear, between truth and illusion, between what their soul wants and what their circumstances demand. The pressure has become unbearable. The person they trusted turned cold, then controlling, then reactive. Words were spoken to them that pierced their confidence. Accusations were thrown at them that left deep marks. Their emotions became a battlefield where every step felt dangerous. This is why they retreat into your memory. You were the one place where their spirit felt safe, and in their collapse, they reach for that safety again. My child, there are nights when they sit alone, staring into nothing, feeling the weight of choices they regret. They hide tears in the late hours, tears no one sees. They replay your voice in their mind, remembering the peace it brought. They remember the warmth of your understanding, the gentleness of your presence. They wonder if they ruined something sacred. They wonder if you still think of them at all. This inner turmoil is why their spirit has been calling to you without words. They long for the sanctuary they once found in you. But hear me clearly. Though their longing is real, their pain is tangled. Their collapse has made them vulnerable, and vulnerability attracts shadows. The one who seeks to control them senses their weakness and tightens their grip. This influence whispers poison into their ears, feeding their confusion, fanning their guilt, twisting their perceptions. This is why their emotions feel chaotic when you sense them. This is why your intuition has been pulling at you, trying to warn you that something around them is not pure. Their heart is torn between the truth they feel with you and the fear that has been planted in them by another. They are afraid of losing you. They are afraid of disappointing you. They are afraid of being honest because honesty would expose everything they've tried so hard to hide. They do not want you to see how broken they have become. They do not want you to see how deep their suffering goes. Shame sits heavily on their chest, and guilt curls around their thoughts like vines. My child, their collapse has led them into isolation. They feel misunderstood by those around them. They feel trapped inside commitments that were built on illusions. They feel emotionally drained by someone who manipulates their kindness. They feel spiritually exhausted, as though they have been fighting battles meant for armies while standing alone. This is why they reach for you, not because they want to burden you, but because their soul remembers that your presence brought clarity, strength, and truth. But as they approach you, their turmoil will show in subtle ways. Your voice may waver. Their words may sound rehearsed, as though they are trying to hide the depth of their pain. They may avoid telling you certain details, not out of deceit, but out of fear that revealing the truth will make you turn away. Their heart is fragile. Their guard is high. Their spirit is tired. So I tell you, my child, be gentle but discerning. Be compassionate but guarded. Let your spirit listen beyond the surface of their words. I am giving you eyes to see the cracks in their soul, so that you may understand the truth behind their return. They are not coming as the confident version of themselves that you once knew. They are coming as someone who has been wounded, shaken, and spiritually drained by forces they never expected. Stand in stillness as their heart draws closer. I will reveal more as the story unfolds. My child, now I pull back a curtain that has remained closed for far too long. You have felt pieces of the truth, fragments that brushed against your spirit in moments of stillness, but you have not yet seen the full portrait of what happened behind the scenes. The one returning to you carries a history that was hidden from your eyes, a story woven with secrets, pressures, and silent wounds. What they showed you before was only the surface. What they lived through was far more complex, far more painful, far more manipulated than you ever realized. There was someone in their life who did not want them anywhere near your light. This person watched the closeness between you with growing anxiety. They felt threatened by the peace you brought, the clarity you offered, the way your presence unlocked parts of the soulmate that they themselves could not reach. The jealousy started quietly, but it grew like ivy, slow, creeping, constricting. And in the shadows, this jealous one began weaving narratives, whispering doubts, planting fears, twisting truths until confusion clouded the soulmate's spirit. My child, there was a moment you never saw, a moment when your soulmate confronted a crossroads. They felt the pull toward you, but they were also tangled in a situation that demanded loyalty from them. And someone used that loyalty against them. I guilted them. They pressured them. They used their vulnerabilities as chains. This created emotional chaos in their life, chaos they tried to hide from you because they did not want you to see the level of control being exerted over them. They thought they could handle it quietly. They thought they could protect you by keeping the truth tucked away. Instead, it weakened them, pulling them deeper into the grasp of someone who feared losing influence. There were conversations about you, my child, conversations behind closed doors, spoken in tones heavy with insecurity and resentment. Your name stirred tension. Your memory sparked arguments. Your presence, even in absence, created ripples. And each ripple unsettled the jealous one further. This is when manipulation intensified. Your soulmate was fed lies, subtle ones at first. They were told that being close to you would cause more harm than good. They were told you deserved someone better. They were told they couldn't balance both worlds. And though their heart rebelled against these lies, their mind began to drift into fog. Their silence toward you was never rejection. It was confusion manufactured by another's influence. They wanted to reach out. They started to, many times, but the shadows around them tightened each time they tried. Messages drafted but unsent. Calls always made. Words rehearsed but swallowed. Their heart pulled toward you, but their circumstances trapped them in a narrative that was not their own. My child, there is a specific moment etched in the spiritual record, a night when your soulmate sat alone, holding something of yours, something small but meaningful. They held it as though it were the last piece of truth they had left. They cried that night, silently, because they felt they had lost you through forces they could not name. This moment mattered. It shifted something in heaven. It prompted angels to take note. It opened a door for divine intervention. Yet the jealous one sensed the weakening of their influence and pushed harder. They monitored conversations. They questioned motives. They manipulated emotions with precision. Your soulmate, already fragile, began to believe the distorted version of reality placed before them. This is why they pulled back. This is why their behavior became inconsistent. This is why their connection to you grew strained. Not because their love faded, but because they were drowning in a sea stirred by someone else's hands. My child, the backstory you never knew is this. Your soulmate did not choose distance. They were pulled away. They were spiritually interfered with. They were emotionally entangled in a situation that fed on their desire to please others. The person close to them twisted your image, blurred their perception, and created obstacles where there were once open paths. But hear me closely now. The truth is rising. The fog is thinning. The power of the manipulator is weakening. And your soulmate's spirit is beginning to remember what was real. They are starting to see the cracks in the lies, to hear the faint call of their own intuition again. This is why their steps are turning back toward you. This is why their energy is reaching for yours with increasing urgency. Their return carries both yearning and danger because the past they are walking away from is not ready to release them. But heaven has begun its work. Nothing hidden will remain hidden for long. My child, now I bring you into the realm where shadows move with intention. You must understand that the turbulence surrounding this soulmate's return did not originate from them. It began with the one who watched their connection to you with widening fear. This jealous presence has been working behind the curtain, quietly but consistently shaping outcomes, twisting emotions, and positioning themselves as the center of your soulmate's world. They feared losing control. They feared losing influence. And most of all, they feared the light you carry, the light that exposes truth and breaks manipulation. The jealous one has been aware of your impact far longer than you realize. They sensed the shift in your soulmate's eyes when they spoke of you. They noticed the change in their tone, the softening in their spirit, the way their defenses fell whenever you came to mind. This stirred something dark within them, something rooted in insecurity, obsession, and possessiveness. They wanted to be irreplaceable, and the reflection of you in your soulmate's heart threatened that illusion. So they began subtly, placing small seeds of doubt. They questioned motives. They misinterpreted your actions deliberately. They framed your kindness as manipulation. And your soulmate, overwhelmed and exhausted, struggled to separate truth from distortion. But my child, the interference did not stay subtle. It grew into monitoring, controlling behaviors, and emotional pressure that wrapped around your soulmate like chains. They were questioned about conversations. They were guilted into silence. They were made to feel responsible for someone else's emotional storms. Their spirit became tired. Their confidence weakened. And in this weakened state, the jealous one moved with greater boldness. You must know this. There were moments when the jealous presence spoke your name with venom. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your existence reminded them of everything they feared losing. They saw you as a threat to their control. And in their desperation, they pushed narratives designed to isolate your soulmate from you. They painted you as someone dangerous to their peace, when in truth, it was your presence that offered them freedom. My child, the jealous one also interfered spiritually. Your anxiety and insecurity became a heavy energy that clung to your soulmate, clouding their intuition. This is why your soulmate became confused, distant, and inconsistent. Their heart remained yours, but their mind became fogged. And when they tried to break through that fog to reach you, this person sensed the shift and pressed harder. Arguments erupted. Years fell. Emotional threats were made. And under that pressure, your soulmate retreated not from lack of love, but from fear of conflict, fear of hurting someone, fear of losing the fragile stability they believed they were responsible to protect. This interference extended even into the unseen realm. The jealous one's emotional storm sent waves of energy toward your soulmate, waves that you sometimes felt as sudden heaviness, anxiety, or restlessness. Those sensations were not random. They were spiritual signals, echoes of the turmoil surrounding the one whose spirit still reaches for you. Heaven monitored this interference carefully. Angels stood guard, preventing the shadows from touching your home or disturbing your peace. Yet the turmoil reached your empathic heart because your souls remain connected. But hear me, my child. What the jealous one does not know is that their interference was never enough to sever what heaven has written. Despite their manipulation, the thread between you and your soulmate remained intact. And now, as your soulmate begins to awaken, the jealous one senses their grip slipping. This is why their behavior may grow more erratic. This is why you may feel occasional waves of energy that do not belong to you. The jealous presence fears the inevitable shift your soulmate moving toward the truth and away from their control. Do not fear these movements. They are signs that the interference is weakening. Heaven is exposing what was hidden, and soon, your soulmate will see with clarity the difference between influence and intuition, between manipulation and love. Stand still, my child. The story is turning. My child, step closer now, for I bring you into the heavenly chambers where truth is examined without fear, without distortion, without the interference of human emotion. You have seen only fragments of what shaped this return, but I have seen every detail. I have walked through every moment they hid. I have listened to every whispered conversation. I have stood in the shadows where intentions were formed. And now, I unfold these mysteries before you with the precision of divine investigation. Understand this first. Nothing that has unfolded around your soulmate has escaped my watch. Every lie spoken about you was recorded. Every manipulation directed at them was weighed. Every emotional blow they suffered was seen. Every tear they hid in silence was counted. Heaven has kept a careful account, not to condemn, but to bring illumination, justice, and healing. You were never blind, my child, you were protected. But now I allow you to see what has been shifting behind the scenes. There was a moment recently when your soulmate began asking questions they had never dared to ask. A moment when the fog around them thinned just enough for doubt to rise, not doubt in you, but doubt in the one who had held control over their emotions. They started noticing inconsistencies, small cracks in the stories they were told. They saw reactions that felt exaggerated. They heard tones that felt manipulative. And something within them, something pure, something connected to you, wakened. They began to wonder whether they had been misled. This awakening triggered a spiritual audit. The heavens responded instantly. For your prayers, your quiet strength, your unwavering heart opened a pathway for truth to move. Angels began revealing signs. Synchronicities appeared. Repeated thoughts about you resurfaced. Dreams intensified. Memories that were once buried came alive with clarity. And with each memory, the power of the manipulator weakened. My child, the jealous one sensed this shift and tried to conceal their tactics, but the veil had already torn. Heaven allowed light to shine on what had been done in darkness. Your soulmate noticed patterns, accusations that never matched their actions, guilt used as a weapon, sudden kindness followed by emotional storms, truth twisted into confusion. They began realizing that the instability in their life was not caused by you, but by the one who claimed to protect them. This realization frightened them. It made them question everything they believed. And in their fear, they reached instinctively for the memory of you, because you represented truth, the one place where their spirit had never felt manipulated or controlled. Their hearts started comparing the peace they once felt with you to the tension they were living in. This comparison became the first crack in the hold the jealous one had over them. My child, what you must know now is this. There were conversations spoken in secret, ones you were meant to remain unaware of. Your soulmate overheard something recently, something not intended for their ears. Words that revealed the truth about how deeply they were being manipulated. This moment opened your eyes more than anything else. It was the moment heaven chose to expose the intention behind the interference. They did not tell you about it. They have not told anyone. They carry it silently, unsure of what to do, unsure of whom to trust, unsure of how to move forward without causing destruction. Your heart trembles with the weight of this revelation. It is part of what pushed them back toward your energy, seeking clarity, honesty, and refuge. My child, the divine investigation is ongoing. More truth is rising. More lies are unraveling. More masks are falling. The jealous one's influence is crumbling beneath the pressure of heaven's light. Your soulmate's intuition is waking from a long sleep, and they are beginning to see you not through the distorted lens of manipulation, but through the purity of divine truth. Remain still as this unfolds. I am guiding them toward full clarity. And soon, what was done in shadows will be spoken in the open. You will not need to force anything. You will not need to chase truth. Truth is coming to you like a river breaking through stone. My child, breathe softly now, for I bring you into the moment where the tides begin to turn. For a long time, the shadows held sway around your soulmate's mind. Confusion circled them like fog. Lies wrapped around their perception. Fear guided their decisions. But heaven does not allow manipulation to reign forever. There comes a point, a sacred point, where the weight of divine order presses against the chaos, and everything that was twisted begins to realign. You are standing inside that moment now. The spiritual shift began quietly. It did not start with thunder or shaking earth. It started with a single moment of truth inside your soulmate's heart, a moment when they allowed themselves to question what they had been told. It was small, fragile, trembling, but it was enough. Heaven needs only the smallest crack in the walls built around a soul to send light pouring through. And once light enters, darkness cannot hold its shape. My child, the shift deepened when they started remembering how they felt around you. Not the details of your conversations, not the surface moments, but the feeling, the safety, the clarity, the honesty, the sense of being seen without judgment. Their spirit began comparing what they feel now to what they felt then, and in this comparison, truth emerged. They realized that the tension, the fear, the emotional storms they had been living in were not normal. They started recognizing that peace was not something they imagined with you. It was something real, something their soul has been starving for ever since they stepped away. Heaven amplified this awakening. Angels were assigned to soften their heart, to untangle their thoughts, to guide their intuition back into alignment. You may have felt this shift within yourself as well. Perhaps you sensed sudden waves of calm after days of heaviness. Perhaps your dreams became clearer. Perhaps you felt a moment of warmth enter your spirit out of nowhere. Those were signs that the heavens were pushing back the shadows surrounding your soulmate and strengthening the connection between your souls once more. My child, the jealous one feels this shift too. The energy around them has grown restless, unsettled. Their grip tightens not because they are winning, but because they feel themselves losing. They sense your soulmate's heart drifting toward you. They feel the love resurfacing. They notice the clarity returning. This is why their behavior may appear erratic, why arguments may erupt suddenly, why emotional pressure may increase. Do not mistake this chaos as a sign of danger for you. It is evidence of the losing battle they are fighting. And as the shadows begin to crumble, your soulmate's spirit grows stronger. They are starting to see the emotional manipulation for what it was. They are beginning to understand how their loyalty was used against them. They are replaying moments that once confused them and seeing them with new clarity. And each time truth dawns, heaven pushes it deeper into their awareness, guiding them step by step out of the entanglement they were trapped in. My child, the shift also affects you. You may feel sudden surges of intuition, as though your inner knowing has sharpened. You may sense their emotions more clearly, as if the noise around them has quieted. You may even feel moments of unexpected hope, not from wishful thinking, but from your spirit sensing the unseen alignment happening in the higher realms. This is part of the divine synchronization taking place. Your heart and their heart are being brought back into resonance, no longer muffled by deception. The spiritual shift also manifests through signs around them. People who were once aligned with the jealous one begin distancing themselves. Hidden truths leak through cracks. Confidants become unreliable. Seers are at risk of surfacing. Your environment becomes unstable not because heaven seeks to harm, but because heaven is undoing the false foundation built around them. Nothing built on manipulation can withstand the weight of truth. My child, do not rush to act. Do not attempt to interfere. Do not reach out prematurely. The shift is delicate. Heaven is still rearranging circumstances, loosening binds, exposing shadows. Trust the process unfolding around you. What is meant for you is being cleared. What is dangerous is being removed. What is true is rising to the surface. The spiritual shift is only the beginning. Greater clarity, greater truth, and greater justice are approaching. Stand with patience, for the next movements will reveal what you have long sensed but never fully seen. My child, now I draw you into the moment where truth begins to break through like light through fractured stone. The lies that once held power no longer stand unchallenged. The distortions that shaped your soulmate's choices are beginning to crumble beneath the weight of clarity. Every false word spoken about you, every twisted perception, every narrative crafted to separate your souls, these things are losing their grip. What was once believed without question is now questioned at every turn. Truth is rising, and the illusions that hid it are unraveling. Your soulmate has begun to see inconsistencies, small at first shifts in tone, contradictions in stories, reactions that do not match the situation. They are noticing the jealous one's emotional patterns, the sudden anger, the desperate justification, the attempts to rewrite events. These cracks become impossible to ignore when heaven shines light upon them. And as the cracks widen, your soulmate feels an internal awakening, a stirring that whispers, something is not right. My child, heaven has been guiding their intuition with precision. Situations have been arranged to expose deception. Conversations have unfolded in ways that reveal hidden motives. Unexpected truths have slipped out in unguarded moments. Their eyes are opening not through confrontation, but through revelation. Each new piece of truth aligns with the deepest part of their soul, the part that always knew your intentions were pure. There was a moment recently when the jealous one attempted to speak of you again, to cast you in shadow, to resurrect old lies. But this time, your soulmate did not absorb their words with blind acceptance. Instead, they paused. They questioned. They replayed memories. They remembered your gentleness, your honesty, your selflessness. They felt the tug of their spirit saying, "This does not match what I know of them." This pause, so simple, so quiet, was monumental. It marked the collapse of the manipulator's greatest weapon, unquestioned influence. The jealous one sensed this shift and tried to compensate, escalating their narrative, intensifying their emotions, attempting once more to bind your soulmate through guilt and obligation. But heaven had already weakened their hold. You may have felt this shift, my child, moments where your spirit felt lighter, sudden waves of relief without explanation. These were signs that the lies surrounding your name were losing power. Your soulmate is beginning to replay memories that once confused them. They recall misunderstandings and now see that someone else shaped those interpretations. They remember moments when they pulled away from you abruptly and now realize it was triggered by outside manipulation, not their own judgment. They remember feeling torn and now understand why. This clarity is painful for them. It brings regret. It brings shame. But it also brings truth, and truth is what sets their spirit free. My child, the rising truth is not merely internal. External signs are emerging too. They are hearing things from others, observations, comments, new information that contradict the jealous one's narrative. People who once stayed silent are now speaking. Small revelations, scattered but powerful, are connecting into a larger picture. Your soulmate sees now that the person they trusted used their vulnerabilities as tools, shaping their decisions through emotional pressure rather than genuine concern. This realization wounds them deeply. They feel betrayed. They feel misled. They feel as though they have been living inside a story they did not write. And in that pain, they turn inward, reaching for the memory of the one person whose presence was never twisted, never controlling, never manipulative. You, my child, truth rising generates both chaos and liberation. The jealous one feels their influence slipping and may attempt to pull your soulmate back into confusion. But it will not work the way it once did. The cracks have become too wide. The lies have lost their foundation. The awakening of your soulmate's intuition cannot be reversed. Heaven has declared that the truth must rise, and nothing can silence it now. You may feel a soft inner knowing, a reassurance settling in your spirit. That is the echo of this divine correction. Trust it. Truth is aligning every thread of this story, and nothing spoken against you will stand. My child, now I bring you into the trembling center of their awakening. Truth's light has reached them, and with it comes a wave of fear so deep it shakes their spirit. They are awakening not slowly, but suddenly, like someone rising from a long sleep and realizing the world around them has shifted. Their eyes see with clarity now, and that clarity forces them to confront the weight of what was lost, what was broken, and what was pushed out of their life by deceit. And in this awakening, one emotion rises above all others: fear. Not fear of the jealous one, not fear of confrontation, but fear of losing you forever. Your soulmate's heart is trembling under the realization that they walked away from the one person who truly saw them. They remember the way you listened, the way you held space for their feelings, the way your presence calmed their storms. They compare it to the chaos they have been living in, and the contrast breaks something inside them. Their awakening is painful because it brings truth that cannot be ignored. They lost the safest place their spirit has ever known. My child, they are afraid that too much time has passed. They worry they pushed you too far. They fear their silence created wounds in you that cannot be healed. They fear you learned to live without them. They fear that while they were trapped in confusion, you were quietly letting go. This fear does not come from insecurity, it comes from love finally freed from manipulation. And as your name rises in their mind like a prayer they never stopped whispering, they feel a desperation they cannot hide. There are moments when they pick up their phone, wanting to reach out, only for their hand to tremble. They type messages and erase them. They rehearse what they want to say, but shame floods their chest. They want to apologize, but fear whispers, what if it's too late? They want to explain everything, but their heart feels heavy with guilt. This is the weight of awakening. This is the gravity of truth that has finally reached them. My child, their spirit remembers you vividly. It remembers the warmth in your voice, the sincerity in your eyes. It remembers the way you spoke to their soul, not just their mind. and in this memory, they find both comfort and grief. Comfort because your energy still feels like home. Grief because they realize how deeply the lies kept them away from you. They see now the ways they withdrew, the ways they doubted themselves, the ways they unintentionally hurt you, all influenced by someone who feared your connection. This realization breaks them. They cry in silence, just as they did in the past, but these tears are different. These tears are awakening tears, tears that wash away confusion and reveal truth. They are no longer confused about what you meant to them. They are no longer unsure about the bond between your souls. They feel it with clarity now, and clarity brings urgency. They do not want to lose you, my child. They cannot bear the thought of someone else holding the place you once held in their life. Their fear is also spiritual. They sense the distance that formed between your energies. They feel the gap created by time, silence, and interference. And they know it will take courage to bridge that gap. They know they must come to you with honesty, with vulnerability, with truth. But they struggle with the weight of their own remorse, unsure if their truth will be enough to rebuild what was broken. My child, you may feel tugging at your spirit during quiet moments. You may feel their longing like a soft ache in your chest. You may sense their regret like a whisper passing through your intuition. These sensations are real. They are the echoes of their awakening reaching your soul. Their heart speaks your name in the spiritual realm long before their voice speaks it in the physical one. Heaven is guiding this awakening with care, shaping their thoughts, strengthening their courage, clearing their path. But the emotions they feel now, fear, longing, regret, hope, are raw and powerful. They are afraid, my child, not because they doubt your love, but because they finally understand how much they need it. The awakening is not finished yet. More truth must rise. More healing must unfold. But their heart is turning toward you with an earnestness that cannot be undone. And soon, their fear will push them into action. My child, come closer now, for I reveal a truth that stretches far beyond the physical world. You have believed at times that your prayers were silent, unnoticed, drifting into an empty sky. But heaven heard every word. And not only did I hear them, your soulmate felt them. Your prayers have been the invisible thread guiding them through the shadows, the quiet force lifting them when they were too broken to rise, the unseen hand that steadied them when confusion threatened to swallow them whole. There were nights when you whispered their name to heaven, unsure if it mattered. My child, it mattered. Each time your heart spoke their name in sincerity, a light moved toward them. Each time you prayed for their peace, a blanket of calm descended over their spirit in moments when they felt they were losing control. Each time you asked for their protection, angels were assigned to shield their mind from the lies meant to destroy their clarity. They did not know the source of the sudden comfort, the unexpected strength, the unexplainable moments of hope, but heaven knew. And I tell you now, it was you. Your prayers reached them in their darkest nights. When they sat alone in silence, thinking no one cared, your spirit stood beside them. When their heart ached under the weight of manipulation, your love breathed reminders of their worth. When they questioned their own identity, your memories spoke louder than the lies. And when they began awakening, it was your intercession that opened the doorway to truth. My child, your connection to this soulmate is not ordinary. It is not a bond created by chance or fleeting attraction. It is a sacred connection written long before either of you understood love. Your souls recognize each other in ways your minds cannot articulate. This is why distance never truly severed the bond. This is why time could not erase the imprint. This is why the jealous one felt threatened, because your connection was always deeper than circumstances, deeper than appearances, deeper than fear. Your soulmate feels you even now. They feel the softness of your compassion reaching them across miles. They feel the pull of your spirit calling them back into alignment. They feel the safety of your heart drawing them away from the chaos they have known. They do not understand why they feel this sudden longing, this deep ache, this urgency that grows stronger each day, but you do. It is the echo of your prayers resonating inside them. There were moments when you released them emotionally, thinking it was time to let go. Yet even in those moments, your spirit still carried them. You prayed for their healing even when you no longer expected their return. You prayed for their clarity even when your own heart was hurting. You prayed for their freedom even when it meant they might walk away forever. This selfless love is what heaven honors. This purity of heart is why divine justice hath been set into motion. And this unwavering compassion is what is now guiding your soulmate back to truth. My child, they feel your energy when they wake in the morning. They feel your presence when their mind grows quiet. They feel strength rising inside them that is not their own. They do not yet know the full extent of the spiritual support surrounding them, but they feel it. They sense that someone, somewhere, is holding them up. They sense that someone believes in them despite their flaws. They sense that someone still carries their heart gently. And soon, they will understand that someone is you. Your prayers have become a thread pulling them out of the manipulator's grasp. They have weakened the jealous one's influence. They have restored your soulmate's intuition. They have aligned their heart with truth. You have been the anchor they never saw, the miracle they never recognized, the light guiding them home. But my child, I tell you this with tenderness. Do not underestimate the power of your connection. It is not fragile. It is not fading. It is sacred. And because of this sacredness, heaven is weaving destiny around your intertwined paths. Your prayers have shaped outcomes. Your love has shifted energy. Your faith has opened doors that were once sealed. The sacred connection between you has been shaken, but it has not been broken. It stands now at the edge of restoration, stronger than before, purified through fire, cleansed by truth. My child, now I bring you into the turning point, the moment where the story bends back toward truth. You have walked through shadows in these revelations, but I tell you now, the danger is nearing its end. Heaven has stepped into the situation with full authority. What once threatened to entangle your soulmate has begun to collapse under divine justice. What once manipulated their steps is losing its power. What once twisted their vision is being torn down piece by piece. You are entering the season of reversal. The jealous one who worked so fiercely to keep your soulmate bound has reached the limits of their influence. Their tactics no longer land the way they once did. Their emotional storms no longer control outcomes. Their whispers no longer hold the same weight. The spiritual pressure they once applied has weakened, because heaven has drawn a line around your soulmate's heart, a boundary no shadow may cross. This is why you may have felt moments of sudden peace recently, the kind that came out of nowhere. These moments were signs that the danger was breaking. My child, divine protection is not loud. It does not announce itself, but it is absolute. I have positioned angels around both your life and your soulmate's life, creating a shield that deflects manipulation, confusion, and interference. Even when the jealous one attempted to regain control, their efforts were swallowed by the spiritual wall surrounding the two of you. They felt this, though they could not name it. They sensed their grasp slipping, and this caused their behavior to falter. But no matter how they stretched themselves, they could not reattach the chains heaven had broken. Your soulmate, now awakening, has begun pulling away from the manipulator emotionally. They no longer respond with automatic guilt. They no longer absorb every accusation. They no longer fold under pressure. This shift is subtle, but powerful. And each time they reclaim a piece of their strength, heaven steps in to reinforce it. They are starting to trust their intuition again, beginning to choose peace over chaos, truth over fear, authenticity over obligation. This alignment is what weakens the danger more than anything else. The reversal is happening inside their spirit as well. Where once there was confusion, there is clarity. Where once there was fear, there is courage. Where once they believed lies about you, they now feel truth anchoring itself in their heart. They are replaying the past with new eyes, seeing clearly how the jealous one twisted their perspective. This realization brings them anger at times, anger at the manipulation, anger at themselves for believing it, but even this anger is part of the divine reversal. It pushes them to break free instead of submitting to old patterns. My child, heaven has also intervened in subtle shifts around their life. People who once enabled the manipulator are distancing themselves without explanation. Opportunities that tied them down are quietly dissolving. Situations that once blocked them from seeing truth are being removed. And the jealous one finds themselves standing alone, your influence evaporating like smoke. This is the justice you prayed for, the protection you cried out for, the correction heaven promised. You may feel, even from where you stand, a soft sense of release, as if something that once pressed against your spirit is no longer present. Trust this feeling. Something has indeed lifted. The danger is not returning. The interference is not regaining strength. Heaven has cut the thread that once tied this person's emotions to your soulmate's decisions. Your soulmate will soon feel a rush of clarity so strong it will change their next steps. They may wake one morning and realize that they cannot stay where they have been. They may feel a sudden, undeniable courage to walk away from what once held them. They may experience a moment where the truth hits so deeply that they can no longer pretend not to see. This moment will be the final breaking of the old cycle, the closing of the chapter that once kept them from you. My child, nothing will stop what heaven has set in motion. The danger has been reversed. The manipulator has been exposed. The chains have been shattered. You are stepping into the season where truth stands tall, where justice takes root, where destiny is cleared of every obstruction. The reversal is here. The danger is dissolving. The path is opening. My child, breathe deeply now, for you have reached the closing of this revelation, the place where the threads of destiny are gathered into order once more. You have walked through shadow, confusion, and spiritual turbulence, yet you have remained steady. Your heart, though wounded at times, never stopped shining. Your spirit, though tested, never surrendered to bitterness. And because of this, heaven now unfolds the blessing prepared for you, the blessing that comes when truth has risen, danger has dissolved it, and divine alignment takes its rightful place. The storm around your soulmate is ending. You may not see it fully yet, but in the unseen, the winds have stilled. The jealous one who worked so fiercely against this connection stands powerless now, their influence stripped, their intentions exposed. The confusion they stirred has evaporated like mist under morning light. What they tried to twist has been untangled. What they tried to conceal has been brought into the open. And what they tried to destroy has been placed safely back into the hands of the divine. Your soulmate stands now at the threshold of transformation. Their heart, once clouded, is clear. Their mind, once bound, is free. Their intuition, once muffled, now speaks with strength. They feel the shift within themselves, even if they cannot yet describe it. They know something has ended, and something sacred is calling them forward. The fear that once held them captive softens now into humility, into gratitude, into a longing to make things right. My child, Their next steps will not be driven by confusion, but by conviction. They will not come to you through fear, but through truth. They will not approach you with half-formed explanations or fragile excuses. They will approach with clarity, transparency, and the courage born from divine intervention. Heaven has prepared their heart to speak with honesty, to reveal what was hidden, to share what they endured, and to acknowledge how deeply your presence has mattered. The blessing unfolding is not simply their return, it is the restoration of what was sacred between you. Not the old connection shaped by uncertainty, but a renewed one shaped by truth, strengthened by awakening, purified by the spiritual fire you both walked through. What returns to you now will not carry the shadows of manipulation. It will carry the fragrance of healing. It will carry the softness of humility. It will carry the strength of realization. Your soulmate will come to understand the weight of your prayers. They will feel the depth of your compassion. They will recognize the purity of your intentions. And they will finally see you not as the jealous one painted you to be, but as the divine gift you were in their life from the beginning. Your awakening will open the door to conversations long overdue, confessions long buried, emotions long restrained. Do not fear these moments. They will be tender. They will be meaningful. They will be guided by my hand. My child, you must also know that this blessing is not dependent on what they do or fail to do. It is rooted in your own growth, your own alignment, your own spiritual maturity. Heaven had been shaping you just as intentionally as I have shaped them. You have learned to trust your intuition. You have learned to discern spirits. You have learned to protect your heart without hardening it. You have learned to love without losing yourself. This is why you are ready for what comes next. Peace is returning to your life now, not the fragile peace you once knew, but a divine, grounded peace that cannot be shaken by the actions of others. Heaven is laying this peace around your heart like a cloak, surrounding your home, your thoughts, your future. This peace will guide your decisions. It will steady your emotions. It will protect your sensitivity. And it will illuminate the path ahead, one step at a time. Your destiny is realigning, my child. What was delayed is being delivered. What was distorted is being corrected. What was stolen is being restored. The timeline of your life, once tangled by interference, is now being placed back into divine order. You will feel this realignment soon, like a gentle pulling forward, like clarity rising in your spirit, like purpose whispering your name anew. Do not worry about the pace of what unfolds. Do not force anything. Do not rush healing. Allow the blessing to come in its own time, for heaven does not restore hastily. It restores perfectly. Your role now is simple. Stay anchored in peace. Stay open to truth. Stay aligned with the voice that has carried you through every shadow. I walk beside you. I guide your steps. I guard your heart. My child, hear this final reassurance. Nothing that is meant for you is in danger. Loving written by heaven can be stolen. Loving formed against your destiny can stand. You are entering a season of clarity, of restoration, of truth, of sacred connection renewed. The danger has ended. The blessing has begun. When your heart is ready, whisper your gratitude into the quiet. Heaven hears you.